Hi guys, it's been a long time since the last video I make about transport in plants. Today it's gonna be a new chapter, which is transport in animals, and it's gonna be separated into two parts, part one and part two. Okay, so to keep it simple, transport in animals is a bit a complex topic, and then you kind of have to understand a lot of things. Only you can answer questions. So today we're just gonna go through this new chapter with a part one version of it. So chapter 9, it will be transport in animals. Okay, so as I said before, today we just gonna go through transport in animals, the basic ones. Transport in animals, we're gonna introduce the heart, okay, and to the veins, arteries, and vessels. Okay, so transport in animals, it's all about circulatory system, the first thing you can actually think of. Okay, the circulatory system is basically a system of blood vessels, okay, with a pump and valves to ensure one-way flow of blood. That is the definition of the circulatory system. And then in the circulatory system, there are two parts. Okay, so the two parts are the single circulatory system and double circulation. Okay, so the single circulation itself is basically blood flows through the heart once every complete circuit. So usually one animal that has a single circulation function will be fish, where the blood will be pumped to the gills and to the rest of the body of the animal itself. And then we're gonna draw the diagram out later. Now I'm just gonna let you know what is the meaning of these first. Okay, double circulation. Okay, this is a very important definition you should remember also, that blood flows through the heart twice every complete circuit. Okay, right now we are gonna show you the diagram of the single circulation. Okay, so the first one is where this is how it looks like actually. Okay, there's usually a bunch of lines, and then there are these, and then there are these. Okay, and then here, wait, this is just a single circulation. Okay, so oxygen diffuses from the gills into the blood, okay, here, and then the heart will be here. This is the heart. Okay, the oxygen diffuses from the blood into the tissues of the animal so that it can function, transport oxygen especially. Okay, so this is just a single circulation system. You just have to know where does it go to, and then where does it is being transported, and then it is back to the heart, like that. Okay, this is what you should know. Okay, right now the double circulation, it's a bit more complex than you would actually expect. Okay, gonna draw this diagram that I usually prefer to draw every single time whenever I forgot my double circulation, is where, okay, here is it. Okay, this is the heart. Okay, and the heart is being consists of 4 chambers. Okay, here will be the lungs. Okay, here with the rest of the body. Okay. Alright. Here will be called the left atrium. Okay. So here will be left, here will be right. Following the direction of where you are right now, that left is here, right is there. Okay. So this is the left atrium, this is the left ventricle. Then on the right side will be the right atrium and the right ventricles. Okay, if you notice that every heart you see, the left ventricle is much thicker than the other chambers. Okay, this is due to pump higher pressure of blood throughout the body. Okay, I'm going to copy it out later. Okay, so this one would be here, would be connected into the left atrium. Okay, and then it goes into the left atrium to the left ventricle, and then it pumps up blood with high pressure to the rest of the body. Okay, and then while in the rest of the body, gas exchange will happen where oxygenated blood will be exchanged into carbon dioxide. Okay, and the carbon dioxide is being exchanged out, and then it will go following the veins into the right atrium. And it goes down to the right ventricles, and then it exits out back to the lungs. Okay, so from this diagram, the left side is always producing oxygenated blood. Okay, and they are called the arteries. Okay, the bigger version of the arteries will be the aorta. Okay, so right now here the left ventricle, that it has a thicker wall is because it's to pump higher pressure of blood throughout the body. Okay, and then it goes into the direction of the rest of the body, and then gas exchange starts to happen. Okay, gas exchange. Once the gas exchange happens, it goes into the vein. Okay, and the bigger version of it, vena cava. Okay, it goes into the right atrium, and then it exits out from the right ventricles. And then here will be the opposite part, and it will be called pulmonary vein, arteria. Okay, and then the other side will be pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary artery is the only artery that can hold oxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein is the only vein that can hold deoxygenated blood. Okay, that's all. And then can you see the lungs are much closer to the heart, and then to the rest of the body is further away. So this is due to the left ventricle being much thicker, okay, to pump higher pressure of blood throughout the body. That's all from double circulation. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so the advantage of double circulation will be higher pressure equals to increased speed of blood circulation. And secondly is oxygen rich blood. Okay, and then it separates oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay, so this is the advantages of double circulation, and then this is what you should know at this stage while remembering all of the components of the heart. Okay, all right, the next one we are gonna do, it's the heart. the most complex things, I think I would say. Okay, 9.2 heart. Okay, this is the diagram of the heart. Okay, let it load. Alright, okay, you have to remember this. Okay, so let's go to the first thing. So the arrows is to show how blood flows. Okay, so firstly, we're gonna start from the left side of the heart to the right side. So this red color one, it's called the aorta. It's called the aorta. Okay, this one. This purple one, it's called the pulmonary artery. Okay, and then below here could be the pulmonary vein. Okay, and then the left atrium will be here on the light blue side. There will be the left atrium, and then below the left atrium will be the left ventricle, which has thicker walls to pump blood in higher pressure. Okay, the atrial ventricular valve is between the light blue color and the dark blue. Okay, atrial ventricular valve. Okay, so it is on between the atrium and the ventricle. Okay, what separates the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood is with a muscle called septum. Okay, so again, to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay, the right side of the heart, so the blue color is called vena cava. Okay, and then here the red color, the red and the purple color is called the semilunar valve. Okay, the semilunar valve. Okay, and then on the light color, that light blue side will be the right atrium, and then below the right atrium will be the right ventricle. Okay, every side of the heart there is an atrioventricular valve. Okay, so, and a semilunar valve also. Okay, what is the function of the vena cava? It has deoxygenated blood. Okay, and then the aorta has oxygenated blood, and it is away to the body. Okay, pulmonary artery is where deoxygenated blood is away from the heart to the lungs. Okay, pulmonary vein will be oxygenated blood away from the lungs to the heart. Okay, the atrial ventricular valves is to prevent backflow of blood. Okay, and then same thing as the right side, where the atrial ventricular valves also stop backflow of blood. Any valves functions are to prevent the backflow of blood, actually. Okay, so the left ventricle has the thickest muscle wall. Okay, so the atria is smaller than the right ventricle, and of course the left ventricle has the thickest muscle wall. Why? Because it has higher force to increase the distance and to further the distance away from pumping blood throughout the whole body. So this is the heart. Okay, alright, and then a bit on the ECG, all these. that is the exercise on heart rate. Okay, so we can monitor heart rate through an ECG, a stethoscope, a pulse rate, or actually that's all already. Okay, so the more you exercise and then the more respiration occurs, the cellular demand for oxygen has a higher heart rate. That's why you pump a lot of blood when you are exercising. Okay, that's why you are breathing at the highest. Okay, so that's all about blood. Okay. Okay. All right. Right now, with the last part of this first part, the veins, arteries, and capillaries actually. Okay. So, I'm going to start off with the artery. Why? Because it's so significant actually. So, the function of it is to carry blood away from the heart. Okay, and then it has a high as blood flows higher pressure away from the heart, and then this is when the muscular ventricles contract. Okay, muscular ventricles contract, and then the wall structure of the arteries is made of elastic tissues and is muscular. The thickness of it's pretty thick. Okay, and then the internal diameter of the arteries has a small lumen, and then there are no valves in the arteries. Okay, the next one will be the capillaries. Ensure that you understand the difference between arteries, capillaries, and veins. Okay, they are really important. So capillaries are blood and substances flow through. So they flow through the capillaries, and then its blood pressure is low. Okay, and the wall structure, it's made of a single layer of cells, and then the thickness of it is 1 cell thick, a very small lumen, and it has no valves. Why? Because it's very small. Okay, next one will be veins. Okay, so these are the one that is carrying blood to the heart. Its pressure is low, it has thin walls, and then its thickness is also really thin, and then but the diameter of it has a large lumen. And then valves, there are semilunar valves. Okay, all right. Okay, these are just the difference. All right, right now we are going to go further a bit. The major blood vessels. So in our heart, we have the vena cava, we have the aorta, we have the pulmonary artery and vein. Next, we have the lungs. The lungs, we have the pulmonary artery and vein. And then the kidney will be renal artery and vein. Okay. Alright. If some questions in the IGCSE, they give legs as a part to trick or make you confused a bit, but it's similar to renal. Okay, so legs, you might see femoral artery or veins. It just means that the veins in your leg, or we can call it femur. Femur is a bone in our legs. Okay, so it's the same function. Okay, the next one will be blood vessels. Okay, the first one we have arterial, where it's artery to capillaries. And secondly, we have venules, where it's capillaries to vein. Thirdly, we have shunt vessels, which are artery to vein. Okay, so that's all for this part 1, and I kind of hope that you understand this. If you got any questions, again, type in anything in the description, and then there'll be a second version of it, and you can click on it on the next video of it. Anyways, see you guys in part 2. Bye bye.